good, BF fans? This is Bigtone coming at you from Bigtone Productions, Beats and Feasts. You know what time it is. Time for another cooking video. And today, we're going to do pork chops in a creamy sauce. This sauce is basically going to slap the back of your mouth.
This shit is bussin', no cap.
You need to try it. I can tell you right now, I love it. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. If you like it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Make sure you share the video. Let's get started with some pork chops in a creamy sauce. Alright guys, so the supporting cast is pretty simple for this. Of course, the star of the show is the pork chops. I got center cut pork chops, always bone in, nothing else. So I got my pork chops there. I got one onion cut up, some sour cream, some white button mushrooms already cut for me, some heavy cream, some butter, salt and pepper here, some minced garlic, and some Lowry seasoning salt. That's all there is to it. Very simple, very quick, very easy. So let's get started with this. That's all we got to do. First, we're going to season up the pork chops.
I'm in the kitchen, and I'm whipping. Hey. Seasoning that chicken. Hey.
Very simple seasoning. Salt, pepper, and some seasoning salt. So we're going to sprinkle these good with some salt here, pink Himalayan. You know how I get down. Gonna go in with some black pepper. And guys, before I get it, preheat your oven to 350, because these are gonna go in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, and then we're gonna go in with our seasoning salt here. And we're going to flip these over, and we're going to do exactly the same thing to the other side. Alright, some salt, some black pepper, you know I love my black pepper, and some Lowry seasoning salt on the other side. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go right over to the stove, and we're going to sear these off and start the cooking process. We're over here at the stove. I got my cast iron skillet on here. I got a little bit of oil in there, and I put in a half a stick of butter. And that's what we're gonna sear these off with. The oil basically helps the butter from not burning. Alright, so we're just gonna place these in. Probably do 3 at a time, or 3. That's all the skillet will be able to hold, I'm sure. Yeah, it'll. Just do 3 and then I'll do my last one by itself. So we're gonna fry these up in this butter and oil. Get them brown on one side, flip them over, let them cook through, and we'll be back. Alright, so we're going to flip these over. Ah, look at that pork chop. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Flavor in your mouth. Alright, so we're going to sear this other side. We'll do our last pork chop, and then we'll start making our sauce. Guys, so these pork chops are probably 85% done. I'm gonna take these out and put them on to a plate over here. We're gonna put in our last pork chop. Fry that up. All right. And I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so in the same skillet, I put a little bit more butter in here. And we're going to add our onion onto here. sear off these onions. Grab all the little bits of grease that was left from the pork chops. Get them nice and translucent. And then we're going to add our little bit of garlic here in just a second. Alright, so we're going to go in with about a teaspoon of garlic. We're going to mix that up in there real good. And then we're going to come in with our mushroom. All the mushroom go in. Alright, so this part may take just a little bit. We're going to let these cook down a little bit here. Some of these are some big mushrooms. I'm going to cut them in half. Alright, so we're going to let those cook down. The onions and garlic and mushroom to cook down just a little bit before we start adding our cream element. You can see the mushrooms cooking down there pretty good. Just about now, I like to add a little pinch of salt. A little bit of pepper. Salt helps bring out the moisture in the mushrooms. A little bit of black pepper over top. Oh yeah, it's looking good, looking good. I'm gonna let these cook down just a few more minutes and be ready to add our cream. Alright, I want to show you guys something. By me adding that little bit of salt, look at the moisture that's coming out of the mushrooms. That wasn't happening before. So, adding that salt brings that moisture out of the mushrooms, let them cook down a little bit more. And I'm going to add my cream, my sour cream right now. I'm going to add to my first cream element. Alright, so we're going to let that melt up. It's going to take a few minutes. Incorporate everything. Then we'll add our heavy cream to it. I told you this is an easy dish, but it's so flavorful. That sour cream, and you got to use some good brand name sour cream. Don't use any cheap sour cream. Same thing with cream cheese. If you decide to do anything with cream cheese, use a good brand name. Alright, so starting to begin our beginnings of our sauce here. Alright, we're going to let that cook for about another minute and a half or so, and then I'm going to add my heavy cream. So now I'm going to add my heavy cream to this, and I've got 1 pint, 16 fluid ounces. I'm going to add to it. Now I may add a little bit of milk depending on how thick this gets. But by the looks of it, I probably won't. Alright, look at that. Oh my gosh. Alright, we're going to let that cook for about 3-4 minutes. And then I'm going to add my pork chops back to it. The sauce is bubbling a little bit. Got its temperature up here. Now before I add my pork chops, I'm going to take a little taste of the sauce. The reason why I did a little taste right then tells me where my salt content is and where my pepper content is. So I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to mix that up in there real good. Alright, now that I've mixed that up in there a little bit, I'm going to give it another taste. That's more like it. So at this point, very simple. We're just going to add our pork chops back to the equation. I may have to overlap them in this because the skillet's not quite big enough for 4. But we're going to do the best we can. There we go. Alright, and then in the plate that I had the pork chops in, I had the juice left. I'm going to pour that in there too. It's all flavor. Alright, next step is simple. We're going to take this as is. We're going to pop it right in the oven on a 350 for about 30 minutes. I said 20, 15, 20, but I'm gonna leave it in for about 30 minutes and let it cook. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Woo, look at that. There you go. Some creamy mushroom gravy over some pork chops. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that, guys. You gotta try this at home, but you know what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that bite. Creamy mushroom gravy over rice and this pork chop. It's melting your mouth, guys. Ooh, I can't wait to get a bite of this. Oh my God. Oh my God. You must try this at home. Hey guys, all I can say is perfection on the plate.
Got him!
If you liked the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Make sure you share the video. And hey, this is Bigtone signing off. Peace.